Hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Today's class is going to be on economic system part 2. The first one was on capitalist economic system, which I advise you to watch. And this is the second part, which is going to be on socialist economic system. So let's move to class. Hello, welcome once again. Last time our class was on economic system. So we saw the definition of economic system. We also saw the criteria for the identifications of economic system and a whole lot. So I will advise you to watch that video. It's economic system tutorial one, right? It's on my channel. So please kindly watch. Today we also treated capitalist economic system in that video too. So please kindly watch that one. And today we want to move straight to the socialist economic system. We stated that we have three major economic systems, which are um, the capitalist system, the socialist, and then the mixed economic system. So our focus today is going to be on socialist economic system. Remember the criteria for us to identify economic systems are: we want to find out who owns the resources, um, what are the motive for production for that production. What are the motive for production? Is it profit or welfare? And then also we also saw that one of the criteria is who makes the decision in that economy. Yes, so today we want to go straight to sales economic system. So you're going to basically answer those three criteria again to see what makes it a socialist economic system. Unlike the capitalist economic system, which is exactly the opposite of the socialist economic system. So for clearer understanding, if you have not watched the first video, which is on capitalist economic system and economic system as a whole, please kindly watch that video and then you understand it very well. But for today, as I said, we are going to the socialist economic system. We want to find out what socialist economic system is. It's also known as the command or the centrally planned economy. So another name for a socialist economic system is the command system or the centrally planned economy. Yes. This type of economy, as I said, is the exact opposite of the capitalist economic system, whereby almost all, remember in the capital economic system, I made a comment that almost all productive resources are owned and controlled, in this case, by the state to produce goods and services. So productive resources are owned and controlled by the state to produce goods and services. So the first question I answered that the resources are owned and controlled by the states to produce goods and services. So that is the socialist economic system, also known as socialism. So we have the pure one. So the pure socialist economic system or socialism is an economy whereby greater percentage of productive resources are owned and controlled by the states or the government in the production of goods and services. What this basically means is that you may not have the government taking over everything. Just as we said in the previous video that though a capital economic system, you don't have the individual taking over everything. The same way in social economic system, though the government owns and control the resources, he only owns and control greater part of it. And obviously, the government is doing that. The motive behind it will not be as profit as the other one, but the motive of production in this type of economic system is the welfare of the citizen. So the main motive of production in this economic system is the welfare of the people in the country or the citizen. So we have answered that the resources are owned and controlled by the government. The main motive of production is what? Is the general welfare of the people or the citizens, right? So obviously, who will decide what to produce, who made the productive decision as to what to produce, how to distribute, etc. Those decisions are obviously being made by the state or the government. So that is what we mean by pure capitalist economy. Sorry, I say capitalist economism. Socialist economic system. That's what we mean by, I'm repeating again, socialist economic system. So the social economic system is a system whereby the resources are owned and controlled by the state. Decisions are made by the states, and those decisions are decisions as to what to produce, how to produce, where to produce, how to distribute, etc., are made by the states. And almost all the product resources are owned by the states. So the reason for their production or their motive for production is the welfare of the people. So these are the characteristics of what the economic system. The resources are owned and controlled by the state. Their main aim is to maximize the welfare of the people, and then the state owns almost, emphasis on almost all productive assets. What I mean by almost all productive assets is just as we said in the previous video on the capitalist economic system. Though the owner of the resources, be it private or the government, which it is government in this situation because we are dealing with socialist economic system, we say almost because all cannot be owned, because you are going to find some people, you are going to find some private businesses in the socialist economic system. However, most of the productive activities are taken by the government. So even though you may be living in a socialist economic system, maybe in your country you are practicing socialism or socialist economic system, you will see that you will still see malls, shopping malls be owned by private individuals, right? But not the government, yes. You also see restaurants owned by private individuals in that socialist economic system. You see hotels, you see grocery stores, you see so many things. You go to market, I'm not sure we have these vendors here, right? These are my people, right? I'm not sure you will see these vendors. Maybe they are government workers. No, they are private individuals that are selling their stuff in the market. Though the market is being built or supplied by the government, the people who are vendors in those markets or sellers in those markets are private individuals. So you see that you have private activities going on. It doesn't mean that everything is done by the government. If not, you'll be having the restaurants being owned by the government, the public, how do you call it? The vendors being government workers, stores, everything you see in the country being, but it's not possible. So the reason why we are saying is almost because you definitely end up seeing some private activities going on in the country. So if you are an individual in that country, you also have the liberty to also set up your own business once you abide by the rules that govern that kind of system, right? And probably can even take advantage of some of the provisions that are made down for those who are private people in that economy. So we want to see some of the advantages of the command economy, which I said is the same as socialism or the same as socialist economic system. So one of the advantages is that it's very competent in providing vital services. In my previous video on the capitalist economic system, I mentioned that we have things like security, education, health, which are vital. I mean, very important things that every country needs. So, but you see that in that system, the government is the one who undertakes most of them. In this system, you see that because the government is taking full charge of everything, like basically almost not fully everything, almost everything. You see that most of the vital services are provided because this is the government acting. Every services needed by the people or the citizens is being undertaken by the government, be it roads, hospitals, schools, um, judiciary, anything you can think of that is very vital or important or essential to the populace. You see that the government is really like in full charge of it because it has no option than to do that. It doesn't have the much of the private sector supporting as much as he is supposed to do. So everything is on the government. Though, as I said earlier, we have little um, how do we call it, participation of the private sector in it. It also promotes one of the other advantage is that another advantage is that it also promotes full employment. What it means is that almost all the resources that are in the country, and they try hard to make sure that almost all the resources are being put to full use. The government is the one that has authority to determine whether we have some minerals somewhere to mine, we have some resources lying somewhere. So they have the full authority. So this once they are in charge, they will make sure that almost all the resources are being put to use. After all, when they're being put to use, they generate enough income for the government to undertake its project. So they make sure that most resources are being put to use, unlike that of the capitalist economic system, which we treated in the other video. We also find out that the resources are allocated efficiently. They don't find out some part of the country or some part of this the nation is enjoying some things, others are not. If it's electrification, they want to make sure that everybody, no matter where you are found, either you're in the countryside or the villages, wherever you are, they make sure that everybody get a fair share, right, of the resources in the country. So you see that resources are distributed efficiently. Yes. And I also, they try to avoid extreme income inequality. What it means is that unlike the capitalist economic system where you see that the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, because basically in the capitalist economic system you see that the rich access so many things that they want because they can afford. In this socialist economic system, the government makes sure, the state makes sure that almost everybody have access, whether rich or poor, to whatever they need. If it's education, everybody will have almost every equal access to education. Everybody will have equal access to health, equal access to security, to roads, to everything. So everybody is enjoying basically equally, if you can say. Or if you have money to afford more than that, then probably you may get those from the little private people that are in the economy. But basically, everybody gets to enjoy. If it's education, everybody enjoys. You know, there's no separate education for the rich or the poor or the one you can afford. If it's a government school, then you will see that you have government schools, if you have hospitals, the hospitals for the government, most of them, once you belong to the government, as long as you are a citizen in that country, you can enjoy equal what access, right? So there's no like discrimination that much, yes. So also, let's see some of the disadvantages, right, of this economy. One of the disadvantages is that it leads to low productivity. You know, basically it's like my part of, a part of the world, right? You see that anything that belongs to the government, you're a government worker, you don't really work that hard. It's like um you have a freedom to relax in your job. You decide whether to produce more or less. You give you some work and then you don't put up your best, because after all, it's for the government, it is for all of us. But if it was a private sector, you're going to work hard to be able to survive. But in this case, whether you work hard or not, you are going to survive. After all, the resources, they normally say is that belongs to everybody. So people don't really want to work hard, so you don't see high productivity, right? There's also no room for satisfying individual consumers. You see that in the capitalist economic system, as we discussed, um, consumers are reigning supreme. In this situation, consumers in this economy, with the socialist economy, consumers don't reign supreme. The goods are produced equally for everyone. If you want, you enjoy. If you don't want, that is your own business. They're not going to say that you are more preferred than the others for you to dictate what should happen. What is available is what you use. So you don't have a choice, as much choice that I want done is done this way. If you want it done this way, you have to do it your own way. But the one provided by the government is for everybody. So no one is specially treated that for you to say that I am a consumer and I decide whether I'll consume or not. I want it done this way for me. You don't have that preference. You don't have that preference. So that is and the disadvantage of the socialist economy system. Forgive me for the background noise you are hearing. I am a mother, so you have them on vacation, and then those noises are unavoidable. So sorry about those noise. Okay, so the third disadvantage is it is costly to operate. You know, when we're treating the capital economic system, I'm referring to that video again. So please, you have to watch it to understand fully. Um, if you want to operate the social economic system, you will need to put up some administrative, how do I put it? Some administration, right, to oversee the allocation of resources. So you have your members of parliament, you have your ministers, you have your DCEs, your MMCs, etc., etc. If you are a part of, you are in Ghana, for instance, all those people must be put in place just for simple allocation of what resources. So that is what we say that it's very costly, because or just for a little project to take effect somewhere, it must move from maybe the presidency down to the ministry, to the minister in charge of that place, and then to the local government, and all those changes must pass through all those changes before getting to the actual ground where the project will take off. So you see that so much is spent just on one project, because of administrative what expenses. So these are the disadvantages of what social economic system. It leads to low productivity. There's no room for satisfying individual consumers. It is costly to operate. And then also we saw some of the advantages that it is very competent in providing vital social services. It promotes full employment. It allocates resources efficiently, and also it avoids extreme inequality of wealth, where you see the rich being richer and the poor being poorer. It is not that evidence in this kind of economic system. So we also say that this economic system is what the kind of economic system whereby resources are owned and controlled by the states, and also the decisions as to what to produce, how to distribute, where to distribute, etc., are taken by the state. And the main motive for production in this economy is the welfare, or the general welfare of the citizen. So let's compare both of them. Let's compare the capitalist economic system, which I said we have done a video on that. That is on this class, the part one of this class, which is on my channel. You have to watch that one to understand. And then let's compare it to the social economics we have done right now. So we can see that in capitalism, which is the same as capitalist economic system, resources are owned and controlled by the private individuals. Whilst in socialism, resources are owned and controlled by the state. Secondly, in capitalism, productive decisions are made by individual, whilst in socialism, productive decisions are made by the state. In capitalism, is a third difference. You see that there is consumer sovereignty, but in socialism, there is no consumer sovereignty. Everybody is equal, right? In capitalism, again, this is the fourth point. The motivation for production is purely profit, whilst that of socialism is for the general welfare of the citizens. General welfare of the citizen. Also, the prices in the capitalism or capitalist economic system are not stable, because the individuals can just change prices at any time. But whilst in socialism, prices are relatively stable. The lastly but not the least, in capitalism, there is income inequality, but in socialism, there is minimal or no income inequality. So these are the differences between capitalism and socialism that we have just done today. So please kindly go through the previous video to understand more on the capitalist economic system, which is also known as the capitalism. And then what we did today is the socialist economic system. And then we try to compare the capitalist economic system to the socialist economic system. This is where we will bring today's class to a close. Our next video is going to be on a mixed economy, So stay tuned for that video. If you like our class, kindly give us a thumbs up. And then if you have not subscribed, please kindly subscribe. If you have any comments or any questions that you want us to address, please kindly put it in the comment section for me, and I will gladly see to it. Thank you so much for joining our class today. Until we